Hello, hello. Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning to everyone here today. Welcome back, everyone, to the Around the World trip. And we just reached the half-century mark of this Around the World trip, day 50 of our trip. Today, we're going to be flying back to the United States of America today. So we got quite an exciting flight for you guys here today. I hope you all had a great weekday. And yes, it's Friday. We're about to kick off the weekend. Guys, I hope you're all doing very well here today. So we're gonna be doing some quite exciting flight here today. It's gonna be about a decent flight. We're gonna be flying from Puerto Vallarta over to Phoenix, Arizona, and we're gonna be flying the Boeing 777-300ER. Unbelievably, this will be the first time we'll actually be doing the 777 on this around the world trip. So I hope you guys are enjoying yourselves here. Thank you guys so much for coming here today. Before we get started, I want to say hello to the chat. We got some lurkers here too, and of course my trusty monitor, Super Typhon, and all the lurkers. Welcome on in, everyone. I hope you're all having a great day. So let's go over what this flight plan looks like. Here's the route for today's trip. If you guys want to copy into your flight plan, here's the route. So right here. Right here. So I just put in the sim brief and all that. So the flight plan is going to be here. We'll be taking off here in the 777. Then once we make our way up here, we'll go all the way here. We're gonna do the Bob D-18 departure. Make our way all the way through the Mexican coast, Mexican Riviera coast. Then fly over to the Los Mochis waypoint. And from there, we'll head up our way over to Hermosillo. So we'll be talking about some of the areas on our flight. I'll update the slide information when we get after the stream. Then from there, we'll be flying our way to the state of Arizona. We'll fly over Tucson, and then make our way over to Phoenix, Arizona today. So that sounds like a pretty fun little flight plan. And we'll make our way through runway 08. So guys, let's get started with our 777. Let's get her ready to get going. So we're gonna go ahead and turn on the battery. We're gonna get the GPU power set up. GPU dual plugs. We have external power available. We're gonna go ahead and turn on the EPU. So okay, that looks pretty good. If you guys aren't aware about the 777-300ER, and just let you guys know about it, this is the most popular variant of the Boeing 777 planes. We're gonna go ahead. Oh yeah, one more thing. All right. Go. Mike Papa Romeo. That is Puerto Vallarta's Akeo. Runway 4. Kilo Phoenix X-Ray. So here, flight level. Boom. Activate. Go ahead and do the departure. We're going to do Bob D1A departure. E4 airway. We're going to go Lima Mike. Uniform Juliet 3. MO. J92. YLLA. We're going to look. That's going to be the Tucson VOR. And finally, we're going to do next arrival. ILS 08. We're going to look at King 1. And I guess we can do this one. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so let's go ahead and check our fuel departure. We're going to do, yeah, short range. I'm going to increase 40%, just in case. So our cruise altitude today is going to be 38,000 feet. We're just going to change our cargo. Passenger 232. 206. 6. Cargo is going to be 10. I guess we could do 36,000 feet. 36,000 fine. Fuel index is going to be 26. Fuel index. Takeoff will be 5. Center of gravity is going to be that. And the approach has already been implemented into this because it's got that program into it. So let's go ahead and get her ready to turn on. So let's go ahead and disconnect the queue. Going to we're going to go ahead and remove the chocks. Okay, we're going to release, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and get pushback. Well, we're going to get this plane set. Yep, here's our mighty 777. Here we go. Yeah, you can see this taxiway isn't usually made for the 777. It's made for something a lot smaller, the 73. There we go. Okay. See, this is a much easier thing to get started. We're gonna go ahead and do this. On the flight directors, on the VNAV and LNAVs. And we're gonna go ahead and set up for the 36,000 feet. Also, gotta turn off the APU. That name. So we're going to taxi down to 04. So basically, the 777-300ER is the most popular variant of the 777. This bad boy can carry up to 396 passengers in a two-class configuration. This Cinnamon carries 354 people, and this thing has some serious performance. This bad boy it has a big old wingspan of around 212. It can carry up to 396 passengers in a two-class configuration, or three-class 665 people. And it has a massive range of a whopping 7,300 nautical miles. Which is pretty insane. So it gets you to nearly anywhere in the world you can think of. And it can take off within 10,000 feet, which is quite a bit. Now, obviously, we didn't have a lot of payload here. Flight log, right? So during the stream, we will talk a little bit about Arizona. Now, obviously, the reason it isn't really featured all that much here is because, well, Arizona isn't a country. It's a U.S. state, not a country. Yeah, I hope you guys are doing well. I can't wait for this weekend to get started. So this weekend, I got the notes for Sunday stream, and this one's going to be very exciting for you guys because it's going to be some really amazing place um on Sunday. We have to go visit Sedona and the Red Rocks, Grand Canyon, Las Vegas. It's going to be a blast on Sunday. I cannot wait to show you fly over this. This is going to be one of my favorites. Here we go. About to reach takeoff. Track lights off, line lights on. Here we go, guys. And rotate, and we're on. And we're blast off. See you later, Puerto Vallarta. Puerto Vallarta. See you later, my dude. Yeah, Mexico is I definitely enjoyed my time in Mexico, and now we're gonna enter back into the United States. So we'll be in the United States for the next couple streams. The around the world trip will be in the United States as we make our way from Vegas over to the Big Five Utah National Parks, then make our way up to Grand Teton, Yellowstone, and then make our way over to Vancouver. There we go, guys. So we're currently right now flying pretty high up here. My 777, baby. An absolute. So if we get lucky enough, we might be able to catch Murph's stream tonight, which is he's going to be in Scotland tonight. He's going to actually be starting a little early at 1800 Zulu. So I think we'll definitely catch him, and we'll definitely pay Murph a visit. Um, Our climb altitude is 36,000 feet, and our flight time will be about 2 hours and 7 minutes. Will be our flight time for December. So there are been some news that have been developed. But there are some pretty big news as well. The big thing that just came out yesterday was World Update 18, featuring 10 cities rendition in with TIN modeling, including Salzburg, Vienna, Berlin, Frankfurt, and Zurich, as well as 116 new handcrafted POIs and 3 handcrafted airports: Salzburg, Munich, and Bern. So that just came out yesterday. So definitely pretty interesting. And then of course the Focke-Wulf FW200. Now I didn't get it yesterday. I wanted to wait and see what the community thinks about it, but this is definitely a plane I'm very interested in since it's worked by Oliver Moser, who worked on 2 other great. Actually, he worked on 3 other really good handcraft local legend planes: the JA-52, the Dornier float plane, and the W-13. And all 3 of those are really good. They're some of the better um, they're one of the better ones. So pretty interesting. And you can get it for $14, which isn't too bad. Of course, I know. I saw London Controller show off Pack Sims Columbus, which is honestly pretty nice to see Columbus get something. It looks pretty nice on Columbus Airport. I know DC Viper would be quite happy about that. So, I'm pretty excited. Ah, gotcha. Thank you, Typhon. I didn't know. I was just curious because it's a plane I've been very interested in myself. So. But yeah, Port Ballard to Phoenix is a real life route. Um, this route is actually flown by I think it was Alaska. No, not Alaska Airlines. I think it was American Airlines. Yeah, I think American Airlines flies there from Phoenix Sky Harbor. Yeah, this is a real world route. Um, yeah, Port Ballard definitely a very cool city. So yeah. So if you decide why I decided to do do the flight back to Phoenix? Well, it's because there's still a lot of Mexico to explore too. Like, I could have gone for Durango, Monterrey, but I didn't want to take too long to do it, since, like I said, I want to get to these countries pretty quickly. I want to take too long. I do want to take a sweet time in some countries. Let's see what flight radar 20. What are you guys hoping? What are you guys looking for the weekend? For you guys to chat. Are Oh yeah, Southwest also flies this flight to Puerto Vallarta. Southwest does. They mainly fly their planes with the 737 family planes, the 737-800. Okay, they had one. Yeah, yeah, it took them 2.5 hours. But they did the other way. Or flying up the coast and make their way down to Phoenix. In a bit of a different route. So, I do have my notes ready, but I'll tell you when we get to some of these locations. So I do want to let you guys know, the reason we didn't have Arizona in the notes is because it's not a country, it's a U.S. state. So there won't be any discussion about U.S. states. I will talk about when we fly into the stream. I'll give you some good tidbits about the states we'll be flying in. But I'm not going to give you like a full thing of slide information. I'm saving those for complete countries, not states. But I do want to talk briefly about the state of Arizona, which we will be flying to today. So Arizona is a landlocked state in the southwestern United States. Yes, it is landlocked. Part of the Four Corners region, along with its fellow states of Utah, Colorado, and New Mexico, as well as bordering California and the Mexican states of Sonora and Baja California. In terms of comparison to other U.S. states, this is the 6th largest state in land area, as well as the 14th most populous U.S. state. Of course, we'll be flying to the capital largest city in Arizona, Phoenix, the most populous state capital in the country, and the destination for today. Believe it or not, it's also the last of the contiguous 48 states to be admitted to the Union on February 14th, 1912. It originally was part of Mexico. However, after the Mexican-American War, it became part of the territory in 1848. And then the southernmost part was purchased through the Gadsden Purchase. You guys know Arizona's well known for its desert climate, hot summers and mild winters, with the exception being northern Arizona, which has got the plateau and mountains. And of course, the country has lots of diverse population, including over 27 federally recognized native tribes make its home here in Arizona, most notably the Navajo Nation, as well as a rich Hispanic population and a major transportation and economic center in the Sun Belt. So Arizona definitely has been a very important state nowadays. It's more important as more and more people make their way there. cool stuff about Arizona. In Arizona, the people who live in Arizona, their denominator is Arizonans. So that is something to keep in mind when we, of course. Mm-hmm. Definitely very important stuff about Arizona. There'll be more I want to mention about later. But mainly, there's a lot about Arizona to talk about a bit. I really want to talk briefly about its history, of course. Um, now, of course, there's a lot. But mainly, I want to talk about a brief bit about its history, of course, some of the more notable moments of Arizona's history, geography and climate, economy, um, transportation, and a bit of the arts and culture. Because Arizona's rich in a lot of things, of course. I also got notes for tomorrow on Sunday stream. I mainly have notes for Sedona, Flagstaff, Grand Canyon, Lake Mead, and Las Vegas. Got plenty of those coming up. You guys will be quite excited for something. So yeah, guys, I wanted to ask you all some questions. So the main question I want to ask is, how are you guys gonna plan on your weekend? You know, some of you guys might have some really busy stuff. So for me, I got some flying to do later today. I have a duty schedule thing in Canada I gotta work on. So I got some duty schedule something in Vancouver. Got that to take care of. So that's what I'm be planning on this weekend. I know you guys. I know Merce got his stream later today in Scotland. Allison's gonna be back on Sunday. She'll be doing. Um, Allison's working on her in a historical flight recreation. This Saturday she'll be going from Bangon all the way to Hua Hin, Thailand. Should be a pretty nice flight. It should be about 8 hours for both legs. We're about to reach top of climb here. Here in our flight. We're now about 36,000. More like 5 hours. Yeah, probably 5 hours with the wind. So yeah, also today for announcements for our virtual airline, um, we're bringing in, apparently Gibbo has worked on both deliveries for the A319 and A321 family of planes. So now he's already got both of the new Airbus liveries already. So our first waypoint is going to be adverse. Our next waypoint is going to be Lima Mike Mike, and we'll be approaching Las Mochis. Um, not too much longer until we approach the first of the waypoints linked. The Mexican coast down here. I think we just flew right past Mazatlan. To our right is through the clouds is the city of Mazatlan, a very popular tourist destination part of Mexico. Just a beautiful flight here. What a stunning flight here today. Tour of Florida to Phoenix. Also, so apparently SoFi is going to bring their own Cardiff airport to the sim, which is going to be for 12 British pounds. It'll be released on August 29th. So Cardiff's already a handcrafted airport in the sim. Now they're going to have a payware version of it coming out as well. So we're just about 720. We're about 720 nautical miles away from our stop here at Phoenix Sky Harbor. So to our right, we can see the city of Mazatlan. We just passed over it. I'm gonna take a quick break. Take bottle break for a bit. So we'll be back up here very shortly. I gotta take a quick bottle break, so I'll be right back. Oh, I'm back. Okay, just had to take a quick break. We're gonna be flying to Los Mochis pretty shortly. We're gonna be approaching our next waypoint very soon. We'll be going to Los Mochis. Yeah, I got the new slide ready for part 5 slides. Los Mochis is where we're gonna be flying to our next. This be our waypoint. Los Mochis, coastal city in northern Sonora, Mexico, the municipal seat of the municipality of Ahome, and its population is 360,000, which is about 61% of its population. It is the western terminus of the Chihuahua Pacific Railroad, passed through the scenic Copper Canyon. Today, Northern Pacific region is the primary area of Sonora, containing about 70% of the irrigated land and producing sugarcane, cotton, rice, flowers, and many vegetables. It's also one of the top producers of mangoes in Mexico. Nearby is the deepwater port of Topolobampo, second largest natural deepwater port in the world, known for its commercial fishing and shipping. The city was founded back in 1893, actually. The railroad. So that is where we're going to be flying to our first stop. Some notable people here include the Jorge Arce, who is the first Mexican to win world championships in 4 weight divisions. We have former PRI candidate Francisco Labastida. Former Miss USA Laura Haring. And finally, Omar Bravo, footballer for Club Deportivo Guadalajara, or Chivas. we should be, we'll be flying here pretty shortly. And there's the VOR about head. So we'll fly over there, and then we'll make our way to the next waypoint on our list. Hotel Mike Oscar waypoint. This is our Hermosillo. Hermosillo. So we'll be making our way up there pretty soon. That'll be our next stop. Yeah, Mexico's definitely a really cool area. For sure. There's a lot about Mexico to learn about. There are some fun facts about Mexico to learn about. There's some pretty important things about Mexico. Obviously, Mexico's home to the largest pyramid in the world. Of course, Mexico's got some cool stuff. Here's Los Mochis in the distance. Right here is Los Mochis. Los Mochis. Right, the cruise at 480 knots. Pretty quick. So once we get through here, we'll make our way to Hermosillo. Then from there, we'll go all the way up into Phoenix, Arizona. And yes, I do have a slide about Tucson prepared as well, so we'll talk a little bit about Tucson, obviously. Really cool city, actually. I really want to check it out. Okay, here's La Monches, right over here. There's the community right here. La Monches. That's La Monches. So let's go ahead and talk about the next thing about Arizona. Just a brief overcap of its history. Arizona was been around for many Native American civilizations, including the Hohokam, the Mongolon, and the ancestral Puebloan culture. Puebloan cultures were among those states. In fact, you could still find many of the pueblos that used to be in um, dwellings, rock paintings are still around even to this day and attract thousands of tourists. The first European to explore Arizona was the Spanish Franciscan Marcos de Niza. He explored parts of the present state and made contact with native inhabitants. Then Coronado entered the area in 1540 to search for Cibola. Of course, there's also Coronado also explored the Grand Canyon too. After the Spanish took over the place, they found many towns in Tucson and Tubac during the 18th century. After the Spanish lost control of Mexico, it became part of Mexico as part of the territory of Nueva California. And then during the Mexican-American War, the U.S. Army occupied the national capital of Mexico City, and eventually it became part of the United States after the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo and later the Gadsden Purchase. So the capital was moved a few times, Tucson, then to Prescott, and then finally to Phoenix. And afterward, also during the late 19th century, was the series of gold and silver rushes here, and brought many people over to Tombstone, Arizona, very famous for its outlaws and lawmen. And then later, of course, copper came replacing gold and silver with copper. During the Mexican Revolution, there are several battles actually fought across Arizona settlements. Um, Even though during the Great Depression, cotton farming and copper mining were suffered heavily during the Great Depression, the tourism became developed. And then, of course, it grew a lot even more with thanks to air conditioning. Thanks to air conditioning, which allowed the summers to be more comfortable, a lot of people moved down over to Arizona, especially with retirement communities and such. Get the harsh winters of the Midwest. So thousands of many senior citizens stayed here, and of course nowadays as well. So that talks briefly about Arizona's history, of course. Yeah, you can still visit the town Tombstone. one of the unique things about Arizona that we'll be checking out today is, of course, its geography. Arizona is a very geographically diverse country. Like, most of the climate in Arizona is desert, except for when you get more into the area around Flagstaff, of course, where you can actually get to somewhat Mediterranean-like climates, but most of it has been hot desert, especially to the southwest part of Arizona. Of course, there is a lot of geography here. Of course, it's famous for its deep canyons, high and low elevation deserts, numerous rock formations, and volcanic mountain range, giving Arizona a lot of diversity as well. There's tons of variety of geography. There are four main physiographic regions. There are two major physiographic regions in Arizona: the Colorado Plateau and the Basin Range Province, and then a transitioning zone in the middle as well. So the northern half of the state, Colorado Plateau, which ranges between 5,000 and 8,000 feet in elevation, mainly in the Four Corners region. But one of the most notable is also where the Grand Canyon is located around here too, to Flagstaff. And it's often known as Red Rock Country thanks to the brightly colored sedimentary rock. And there are many beautiful natural features of this area, including Grand Canyon, Antelope Canyon, Meteor Crater, Canyon Desert, and Petrified Forest. Are some of the most famous, well-known areas in the Colorado Plateau of northern Arizona. And we will be visiting that plateau. We'll be visiting all three of these areas on Sunday's trip. Then we have the transition zone, which is like where Prescott and Payson are located in Sedona. And it features mountain zones like the Mazatl Mountains, Santa Maria Mountains, and the White Mountain Ranges. It consists of rugged mountain ranges and valleys. And it also tends to be parts of Arizona that receive the heaviest rainfall due to its mountainous terrain and variations of temperature by altitude. And finally, the southern part of Arizona, the Basin Range, which features steep linear mountain ranges alternating with lengthy deserts. Some of those mountains can create biological islands by cold climate plants and animals, while the rest can be deserts. But of course, due to all that deserts, it has some of the richest copper mining in all of Arizona. Contains gold, silver, and barite. So definitely Arizona, very geographically very diverse area. And there's a lot of deserts, but most notably the Sonoran Desert in southwest Arizona. And it's among the hottest deserts in the country. Also, the Mojave in northwest Arizona is the Mojave. And to the northern Arizona northeast is the Painted Desert. The tallest peak in Arizona is Humphreys Peak, and it is the highest summit in Arizona, and it is 12,633 feet. And one of the most prominent summits in the country outside of the Rocky Mountains. And apparently it's even high enough to actually maintain snow cover even to the summer, too. Pretty crazy. But Arizona's geography, very, very cool. We'll be checking that out. We're doing quite well. We're actually just about 470 nautical miles away. We just got another hour left to go. So we're doing very, very well here today. pretty clear day out here at Mexico. Yeah, I've really been enjoying this flight. Nice and peaceful flight here today in Mexico. So after this fight, I gotta finish the rest of my due schedule for today. So I gotta finish up my due schedule. Gotta do some shuttle run between Vancouver and Juneau, and then finally Vancouver to Saskatoon. So be some pretty good flying here. A couple of hours. We're gonna make our way forward across to our next waypoint after this is Ciudad Obregon is our next stop. So there is Ciudad Obregon. This is over here. So, one of the big things about Arizona, and one of the things I do want to mention about Arizona, is its state economy. In 2023, it's Total gross state product is 508 billion US dollars. And it's quite a diverse economy between healthcare, transportation, and government being the largest sectors. Historically, the state relied on the 5 C's: cotton, cattle, citrus, and climate. Copper, cotton, cattle, citrus. And copper is still very important as a lot of it as well. They grow lots of agriculture here in Arizona. Lettuce, spinach, cantaloupe, broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, and watermelon are often grown here. So those are main parts of Arizona's economy. In terms of transportation, Arizona's got some pretty big highways and stuff. Arizona is connected to rail via Amtrak through the Southwest Chief, Sunset Limited, and Texas Eagle. Mainly by rail, but also mostly by freeways, including the interstate routes of I-17, I-19, north-south, south-north, Interstate A10 and I-40 travel west to east, and a short stretch of I-15 from southwest to northeast. In the future, they're also building the Interstate 11. Historically, if you guys do remember our Route 66, it also was a major route, and it went through quite a few of the northern part of Arizona was Route US 66, which now went to the cities such as Sleepman and Kingman, Arizona. There's also a couple of airports, but the big two airports in Arizona are Phoenix Sky Harbor and Tucson International. There's also a couple of other airports here too. Flagstaff, Yuma, and Prescott are also other airports too. There's also a really busy general aviation facility in Grand Canyon National Park. And there's also Scottsdale Municipal too. So look at the scenery here. This is gorgeous scenery up here. So, absolutely gorgeous scenery. just 390 nautical miles out of Phoenix. That's not very far at all. So guys, if you're enjoying this stream and you're enjoying the content, if you're not followed yet, smash that follow button for the channel. We stream here 3 days a week. Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. Wednesdays will be our virtual airline streams, and Fridays and Sundays will be our around the world trips. We'll be doing that as well. So our next city we'll be visiting on our slideshow will be Hermosillo, which we're not very far off. This city here is the center of the northwestern Mexican state of Sonora. It's the state capital and largest city with a population of 936,000 people, making it Mexico's 18th largest city. And it's due to a lot of the industrialization, mainly with the automobile industry. Also one of the most livable cities in all of Mexico. And it's one of the richest cities in Mexico by GDP per capita. It's also got quite a hot desert climate, and temperatures can be as high as 49.5 degrees Celsius during the summer, making it among the hottest cities in all of Mexico. Its history dates back to 1700 when it was founded in May 1700. It was named for Jose Maria Gonzalez Hermosillo. He was the namesake of the city. And he was named after the insurgent leader. Wow. But the big part about Hermosillo was, in the 1920s, it was mainly by a lot of shoe businesses. But the big thing why it grew so much in the 80s was due to the fact of the automobile industry. Ford built a company there for stamping assembly, which as a result, and it grew ever since with the automobile industry. And that's a big, but also in addition to this area also has agriculture too. Wheat, grapes, flowers, chickpeas, alfalfa, and walnuts. Today there's about 26 different manufacturers here, which generate over 68,000 jobs among the city. Other than cars, other products manufactured in the city include televisions, computers, food processing, textiles, wood products, cellular phones, petroleum products, and plastics. So they play a big role here in the city. And for tourism, there is quite a few places to visit. Palace Zaragoza was well visited here. They also have its own cathedral, making it one of the most visited places in the city, as well as its own ethnic museum on the outskirts of the city. It even has its own airport with direct flights to Phoenix, as well as Guadalajara, Tijuana, and Monterrey. That is Mike Hotel Oscar. And it's actually the 13th busiest airport in Mexico. Pretty cool stuff. Wow. But yeah, I would like to see a hub in Mexico. Like I think Mexico would be a great spot for a new hub. If we had to do one more hub in the Americas, I think Mexico would be a good spot. I mean, it's got some great cities to visit, like Puerto Vallarta, Guadalajara, Cancun, Cozumel, Monterrey, Chihuahua, San Jose del Cabo. Mexico would be a treasure trove. It would be a good place. It don't need to be a massive hub. But I do think Mexico would be really. We'll also talk about some Arizona fun facts on Sunday too. So, of course, there's Hermosillo right ahead of us. Is Hermosillo. There's Hermosillo. So after that, we'll turn there and make our way over to Tucson, Arizona. But of course, one of the big things about Arizona has been arts and culture, and it's really cool because Arizona has a wide mix of it. I mean, one of those is the Phoenix Art Museum in Phoenix, the Southwest's largest collection of visual art from across the world, featuring over more than 18,000 works of Asian, European, and Latin American arts. In addition to this, it's also a recognized center of Native American art, and one of the most famous is the Heard Museum, dedicated to Native American art, with exhibits including full Navajo Hogan. The Maureen Allen Nichols collection contained 260 contemporary jewelry, the Barry Goldwater collection of Hopi Kachina dolls, and more. And of course, cities such as Sedona, Jerome, and Tubac are major budding artist colonies for art. It's also been used as a major filming location. There are quite a few Hollywood films located here, including Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures, Raising Arizona, many Western films, and more. Other films, like for example, the Clint Eastwood film The Gauntlet takes place in downtown Phoenix. And who can forget Psycho? Some of the shots in the film were shot here in Phoenix. And of course, TV shows, most notably The First 48 and America's Most Wanted, are often filmed or set in Arizona. So, pretty important stuff about film and culture. There's a lot of them in there. Music's also a big deal here. Arizona's got a lot of music scene as well. It's often featured a lot in country and western songs, such as Jamie O'Neill's There's No Arizona, George Strait Oceanfront Property, and of course, it was often featured in the song Standing on the Corner Park, Take It Easy by Jackson Browne. And of course, there's also some music bands from there, including most notably Jimmy Eat World, but other ones also include the Gin Blossoms, Roger Clun and the Peacemakers, and more. As well as other musicians such as Michelle Branch from Sedona, Chester Bennington, who unfortunately passed away pretty young, was the vocalist of Linkin Park, and of course Alice Cooper, who, even though he wasn't actually born in Arizona, he makes his home in Phoenix. Alice Cooper was actually born in Detroit, but he actually got his start in Phoenix. But there's other singers like Dierks Bentley, Marty Robbins, Stevie Nicks from Fleetwood Mac, and more have other been around the Arizona area. So pretty cool stuff. So definitely pretty cool stuff. Phoenix has got some funny music and stuff in Arizona in general. There's also a couple sports teams. There's 3 major league sports teams in the state. They play in Phoenix, of course. The Arizona Cardinals of the NFL, the oldest franchise in the NFL. The Arizona Diamondbacks of Major League Baseball, and the NBA's Phoenix Suns. There used to be a 4th team, but the Coyotes moved on to Utah. All sports are also a huge deal in the city, of course, mainly with the 2 major universities in the state, the Arizona State University in Tempe, and the University of Arizona in Tucson. And of course, their rivalry between the two is the oldest rivalry in the NCAA, the Territorial Cup. Huge deal in the state. it's hard to believe this, but their football programs have played each other since 1899. It's an old rivalry. And that's even before Arizona even became a state, too. That's pretty crazy. They also host a couple of bowl games as well. So, people in Arizona like each other. And, of course, for baseball fans, this was one of the 2 states in the country where teams do their spring training, and the other one being Florida. So, yeah, that's just a bit of information about the state of Arizona for you guys to cover. So, I didn't want to talk too much about. I did want to put notes for it in there because um, obviously states are countries, so I'm not going to put it in the official notes. But I will make a mention to it just because I still want to teach you guys a bit about Arizona. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. About Arizona State, they call it's known as the Duel of the Desert, and its trophy is actually the Territorial Cup, created 125 years ago. This trophy, um, it is one of the oldest rivalries in college football. They met 97 times, and Arizona currently won 44-1. But yeah, these 2 teams do not like each other, and they play for that Territorial Cup, which basically is a silver plate over Britannia-based metal. Yeah, it's a very important rivalry game in the state, and like I said, those 2 teams do not like each other. Cool stuff. So we'll be heading to Tucson pretty shortly, flying to the city of Tucson, Arizona. I'll be talking about some information about Tucson, of course. Oh yeah, one more thing. I'm gonna also adjust. I'm gonna go ahead and set up the altitude where we're gonna be landing at. So it's gonna be 3,000. That way I can prepare for top of descent in case it becomes. Hey, better safe than sorry for me adjusting the altitude. Be better safe than sorry. So we'll be heading down to Tucson for a bit. So Tucson's actually Arizona's 2nd largest city after Phoenix. Population of 542,000 people, while its metropolitan area is around 1.04 million people. It was founded as a military fort in 1775. It was once the territory of the Arizona Territory from 1867 to 1877. And during that period, it was actually the largest city by population until it was surpassed by Phoenix in 1920. Nevertheless, the population growth remained strong during the late 20th century. This city is really unique as it's the first American city to be designated a city of gastronomy by UNESCO in 2015. Now, Tucson's a really cool city, and one of the really cool things about Tucson has been, um, it's got some really cool things about it. First off is its geography. Of course, it is the Louisville Plain of the Sonoran Desert, and there are 5 mountain ranges that surround this city: the Santa Catalina Mountains, the Tortilla Mountains, the Santa Rita Mountains to the south, the Rincon Mountains to the east, the Mountains to the west. In addition to this as well, Tucson is very well known for a lot of its neighborhoods, especially downtown. Got some really cool places to visit, including the Barrio Santa Rosa, the historic neighborhood dating back to the 1890s. Of course, there's lots of beautiful architecture and stuff. The Fox Theater in Tucson, dating back to 1930, the University of Arizona. There's also the Hotel Congress too. It's got some pretty cool places to visit. But one of the big parts about is Tucson's economy has been the military and the University of Arizona are the two big things that drive Tucson's economy. The largest employer is University of Arizona, and of course, Raytheon has a major facility there, as well as Texas Instruments, IBM, and others have a large presence in the city. And of course, let's not forget Davis-Monthan Air Base. That's actually, we'll be flying over that part of it. But tourism is also a big industry. There's lots of resorts, hotels, and attractions. Over $2 billion and $3.5 million annually. And one of the major annual attractions is the Tucson Gem and Mineral Show. And they mainly do a lot of jewelry and stuff. And of course, many snowbirds like to come down to Tucson too. They also got a folk festival as well for folk music, its own rodeo. And there's a lot of other attractions. They got the Fremont House, which stayed as well. Fort Lowell Museum, which talks about Fort Lowell. There's also the old movie studio and theme park, Old Tucson Studios, which was set for the movie The 1940 film Arizona, for a lot of classical westerns. And of course, let's not forget the Pima Air Speed Museum. Very nice area, very cool place to visit. I really want to check that out. Pretty cool stuff. But of course, the thing that made Tucson very famous is its cuisine, and it's very cool because Tucson is well known for its Sonoran-style Mexican food. And, and it's thanks to the fact that, and of course, its most popular thing is the Sonoran hot dog, featuring it's a hot dog basically wrapped in bacon, grilled, served on a bolillo-style hot dog bun, topped with pinto beans, onions, tomatoes, and a variety of condiments, including mayonnaise, mustard, and jalapeno sauce. And Tucson has also got a strong claim to be the origin of the chimichanga, deep fried burrito. Chimichanga, of course. And most notably, Tucson's represented by college sports. The University of Arizona, particularly those of basketball, men's basketball, football, and baseball, are a huge deal in Tucson. So that is about Tucson, Arizona, guys. Very cool city. Oh yeah, and of course, it's got its own airports too. Tucson International is the main airport. Kilo Tango Uniform Sierra, Arizona's second busiest airport with 3.7 million people. And it mainly features flights to destinations across the country, but mostly in the West, including Seattle, Phoenix, Chicago, Los Angeles, Dallas, Atlanta, Minneapolis, Chicago, Dallas Love, Vegas, more. Used to have more international flights back in the day, some Mexican destinations. That's Tucson Airport for you. Of course, one of the most famous areas here. If we fly around Tucson, we might be able to see Davis-Monthan Air Base. We might get to see the Boneyard, too. That's one of the most well-known things is the Boneyard. It's located on the grounds of Davis-Monthan Air Base. There's over 4,000 aircraft at the Boneyard, the largest aircraft storage and preservation facility in the world. This has been around since 1964. The reason they picked this area, by the way, was because of the high altitude, low humidity, infrequent rainfall, and alkaline soil. It makes it reduce rust and corrosion. So, really cool area. So pretty cool stuff. So we might get to see the Boneyard when we get to it. So guys, thank you so much for coming along here today. And once we fly over Tucson, we'll go over and talk about Phoenix, Arizona first. Yeah, the scenery out here is gorgeous today. The sphere looks incredible. It's fantastic. This is stunning scenery, guys. Gorgeous. Yeah, I'm very excited to show this off to you guys. It's fantastic. Let's see when our top of descent's going. Oh, it's not going to be that much longer than to top of descent. So, yeah, can't wait to show you guys. Yeah, Kima Air and Space Museum is got some really cool stuff. They've got over 400 aircraft in collection. There's a lot of really cool stuff they got. I think that's Tucson. Way down the distance is the city of Tucson. Yeah. I know Murph's gonna be ready to get back on. Yep. First, Murph just got the notification. He's gone, so I think we're making a good time. So, guys, thank you all so much for joining along with me today. So, for this stream, it was a great flight all the way down to Mexico. So I'm very, very excited to do. Go ahead and talk about Phoenix for a bit. Let's go ahead and talk about Phoenix for today. So, Phoenix, Arizona, the capital, most populous city in Arizona. It's also the most populous state capital in the country and the 5th most populous city in the United States with over 1.6 million residents. Its metropolitan area is among the top 10 largest in the United States with 4.85 million people. Phoenix was settled in 1867 as an agricultural community near the confluence of the Salt and Gila rivers. It was the capital of the Arizona Territory in 1889, and thanks to its canal system, led to a thriving farming community of alfalfa, cotton, citrus, and hay, made important parts of the local economy for decades. That remained until after World War II, when high-tech companies moved into the valley, and also air conditioning made living here a lot more bearable. Made it a lot more bearable. It's currently the cultural center of the state of Arizona, and its northeastern reaches the Sonora Desert. Its GDP is around $360 billion, and it's among the fast-growing cities in the country. Mainly, it's got the large plurality of Hispanic cities in the country. Very important city. But the reason I actually wanted to stop for a bit is because we're about to approach Tucson, Arizona. This is Tucson, right in the background. Like I said, Arizona is a beautiful state. I really do want to check out Arizona. That would be one of the states I want to visit. Here's Tucson. So here's Tucson International, and there's Davis-Monthan. Welcome to Tucson. Probably a pretty cool city, Tucson, Arizona. There's all this area down here is the boneyard, by the way. Yeah, there's Davis-Monthan. There is all this stuff is boneyard, by the way. 4,000 planes. There's downtown. But yeah, speaking about more about Phoenix, so Phoenix, one of the really cool things about Phoenix is got home to quite a few animal species that live out in the suburbs, well, including animals such as the coyote, the javelina, the bobcat, mountain lion, jackrabbit, mule deer, ringtail, Mexican free-tailed bat, various raptor species like falcons, hawks, and owls. Eagles like the bald and golden eagles both make their home here. Of course, you can find lots of reptile species. Most infamously, the western diamondback rattlesnake um, is the most infamous species here. But you also have the Sonoran sidewinder, Sonoran coral snake, and various lizards, but most notably the Gila monster. Gila monster is most well known, and the desert horned lizard. As well as invertebrates like the Arizona bark scorpion, the Arizona tarantula, and the Sonoran desert centipede. And of course, you can find all sorts of plants too, most notably the giant Sagaros cactus, which can grow up to 12 meters tall. Yes, it's huge. 12 meters tall. It can live up to almost over 150 years. Yes, for a cactus. Yeah, it's pretty big. Arizona definitely, Phoenix definitely has a lot of stuff going. And it's home to tons of different cultural things, from the Phoenix Symphony Hall Orchestra to museums like the Herd Museum, Phoenix Art Museum, and more. Of course, it's also home, also a big part of tourism. There's lots of golf courses. There's over 200 golf courses in Phoenix. Yes, golf is not what you think of Phoenix, Arizona, but yeah, there's lots of golf courses. There's also attractions at Agua Fria National Monument, Casa Grande Ruins, Montezuma's Castle, and the Towson West architecture. You can visit his home. Also got the Phoenix Zoo, the largest privately owned nonprofit zoo in the country, as well as South Mountain Park, the largest municipal park in the U.S., and a few others. And of course, lots of cuisine. Its Mexican food is very well known. Pretty cool stuff. And of course, we paid a visit to its main airport. Phoenix Sky Harbor will be where we're going to end up. Is Phoenix Sky Harbor. This airport is Kilo Foxtrot, Kilo Papa Hotel X-Ray. It's Arizona's largest and busiest airport, and it's the 8th busiest airport in the United States, 22nd busiest airport in the world, which in 2023 it served 48.6 million passengers last year. It's a hub for American Airlines, as well as a base for Frontier and Southwest Airlines. Um, this airport was dated back all the way back to 1928, and its unique name actually came from the owner of Scenic Airways, J. Parker Van Zandt. He mentioned it gave its name as a result. It did quite a bit of service from here. Most notably, this was a hub for Western Airlines. had a hub here too. And of course, it became a hub for America West. Well, America West made their home in Phoenix. And it became their main hub. Then once US Airways merged, it became a hub for American Airlines, and it still is today. It's got tons of routes all across the globe. You'd be surprised about some of the destinations that you can fly out of Phoenix. Some of these domestically, it flies in cities like Albuquerque, Austin, Atlanta, Boston, Dallas, Chicago, Cincinnati, Louisville, Las Vegas, Portland, Pittsburgh, Reno, Washington, D.C., New York. Internationally, it flies to London Heathrow, Monterey, Mexico City, Paris, Montreal, Toronto, Vancouver, Frankfurt, um, Frankfurt as well, Guadalajara, San Jose del Cabo, and more. But this airport flies all across tons of destinations all over. It's a big hub. But it is one of American Airlines' biggest hubs. It's a big deal. Yeah, that is Phoenix Sky Harbor. That's all the slides for today, guys. We'll have to prepare for our approach back to Phoenix. Also, Phoenix has also got one of the best airports in the United States by critics. It's one of the finest airports in the United States for all the big ones. And today should be our lucky day with some of our approaches, because we're actually going to have an approach. We're going to fly into downtown Phoenix, which should be a really fun approach, because we're going to be flying right next to downtown Phoenix, so we're going to take some pictures. Phoenix, yeah, flies to all sorts of destinations. Yeah, it it flies to North America and Europe is where it mainly flies. Like it does also have flight to Anchorage. Funnily enough, it flies all the way from Phoenix to Anchorage. I mean, literally going from one of the hottest areas in the United States to one of the coldest, Alaska. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I really had fun with it. By the way, it was a very pretty flight. But yeah, I cannot wait for Sunday because this is going to be gorgeous. You guys are going to love it. We're going to go through lots of canyons and mountains, beautiful rock formations. We're going to have it all Sunday. And we will take the Comanche as well for this one, so yeah, the Phoenix metropolitan area is absolutely huge, by the way. If you guys aren't aware, the Phoenix metropolitan area is colossal. It contains other cities like Scottsdale, Mesa, Glendale. Um, Mesa, for example, has got Falcon Field, which you guys all know about Falcon Field. That's Jefferson scenery. But in addition to Phoenix, the other major commercial airport that flies into Phoenix area is Williams Gateway. Oh, don't tell me how to freeze. Oh, don't. Okay, good. That would have been bad if I had it frozen. That would have been terrible. That would have been the worst time on approach. Uh, God, that would have been really bad. How many pictures? Hmm. Once these flaps. What a beautiful view here. Yeah, I've been. If you guys didn't know, I actually did fly to Phoenix. In real life, I flew to here. When I got back home from California in February. That was one of our layovers. Was at Phoenix Sky Harbor. Guys, let's see what we're gonna get for our landing here today. I think for the runway link is pretty good, 11,000 feet. So that's more enough for. Oh yeah, look to our right, guys. If you look to directly our right, we can actually see Phoenix Raceway, where NASCAR does their races in Phoenix. There's the raceway. That's something I wanted to point out. Here we go. We're on approach mode. And there very shortly. Officially made our way over to Phoenix, guys, for our landing in Sky Harbor. One of the nation's busiest airports, too. It's an absolutely gorgeous airport. Phoenix is definitely an airport I bet you guys are going to probably visit quite a bit. If you ever did any virtual airline stuff, you will definitely be visiting Phoenix quite a bit. Okay, we got the lights going. Welcome to Phoenix. Definitely a very cool city and definitely a place I want to check out. Mm-hmm. Here it is, guys. Phoenix. Downtown Arizona. Yep, downtown. cool. Alright, guys. Here's Sky Harbor. Put on auto brakes 4 because I thought we were going to be needing the auto brakes. Here's the funny thing: if you did the ultra approach in the 2.6, you would get to fly over Arizona State University, 10 day. Another pretty scenic arrival. This definitely has a pretty cool rival in Archer. Go.
100.
Minimum.
50. 30. 20. 10.
And we officially welcome to Phoenix, Arizona. Just find somewhere to park. I think we'll go here. We did it, boys. I just let the thing auto land because it would be a lot easier than having me try. Guys, welcome to Phoenix. We'll just get parked. We'll park gate 6, and we'll wrap up the stream. Made it all the way from Puerto Vallarta. Let's see how long this flight took, by the way. 2 hours and 8-minute flight. Pretty nice. All right. And that wraps everything up from Phoenix. So, guys, thank you all so much for joining me today on this Firefly, on this Around the World stream, guys. Thank you all so much for being here. We made it to Phoenix, Arizona. So we will officially make a return back to Phoenix on Sunday. We got a really amazing flight for you guys. We'll travel up to Sedona, Flagstaff, and the Grand Canyon on our way to beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. So guys, we're going to rate it to the one, the only, the Two-Toe Murphy himself. So guys, stick around for the raid, and I hope you guys enjoy the Stargirls weekend. Take care, everyone, and have a great start to the weekend. Goodbye, everyone.